Borderline personality disorder, men versus women. No, that's not what this is. It's not a man versus woman thing. How about borderline men? Being a male with borderline personality, I'm just going to discuss my experience with it and why I believe that women are diagnosed more than men. I believe that we still live in a society where men and women are not 100% thought of as equal. I believe that men are still thought of as the strong, non-emotional type. That a man can't be sad, a man can't have emotion. Men are just the strong warriors. And women are still considered to be very fragile and need to be protected and are very emotional. I believe there are more resources out there for women than there are for men. If you're arrested, I've known a lot of women that get arrested, and they're offered deals to, they don't have to go to prison or jail. They get to go to these little, halfway houses or whatever, so that they can learn to manage their emotions better and they're offered psychiatric help and therapy and things that could rehabilitate them. Or men, it's just send them to jail, send them to prison. They're useless. Society is way willing to help women out where they're not really so much willing to help men out. This is my personal experience with it. To get help for mental illness, I had to fight and claw my way in to get to see a therapist. And then I had to tell them what was wrong with me and what kind of therapy I needed. I did their job for them, but they'll still charge me $200 a pop. How many times I've been to jail because of my disorder? Just because I have borderline and I was not diagnosed with borderline, I've spent lots of time in jail. Did I deserve to go to jail? I don't think so. Had I known how to regulate, I don't go to jail these days. Relationships were lost. I was homeless for a lot of, probably about 2 years I've spent homeless. Homeless, I don't mean not having a home, bouncing from home to, I mean sleeping under bridges and fighting with the rats over leftover food I found in the garbage. Homeless. Because I was a guy and just the world just didn't give a shit. Now if I'd been a woman, I think I would have been able to go to some transitional housing. I would have been able to go to therapy. Just so many more opportunities out there, in my opinion. And borderlines tend to be more violent. I think that stems from a society that teaches us that we have to shove our emotions down and that we have to be strong, and so when confronted with emotions or whatever, instead of talking about them, we'd rather get angry and break things and scare people away so that they leave us alone and we don't have to deal with the scary stuff, which leads to more prison and jail and all of that. It's about 50% between women and men. Just men have been not being diagnosed or misdiagnosed for many years, but at least that's starting to change. I'm finding a lot of men that are getting diagnosed very late in their life. I was diagnosed really late in my life. I was in my 30s. So a lot of times, a lot of the damage has already been done before a male is actually diagnosed. That's if they can make it through those adolescent years where the hormones are raging. A lot of men end up in prison in those years because they just don't know how to regulate. But anger management, basically I guess the point of this video is, if you're a man out there who's had a lot of run-ins with the law, has a substance abuse problem, and is constantly being sent to anger management and substance abuse classes, and nothing ever changes, and you're thinking that you're just an evil piece of shit, look into BPD. There's a very good chance that you're suffering from borderline personality disorder, and dialectical behavioral therapy could help you out. Or at least the knowledge of what's going on. That's what helped me, is knowing what's going on, so that when I am splitting and having ideology and all these weird thoughts and being paranoid that everyone's against me, that I could check it, that I know that it's just in my head, it's probably not going on. Do you think I'm right? Do you think women are more, and do you think we live in a society where women are still considered to be, you know, have to be coddled and taken care of more, and men are just kind of like, they're men, they'll deal with it? Or am I completely full of shit? Let me know in the comment section below. Please hit that like button if you've not yet subscribed. We're going for 100 subscribers, 1,000 subscribers, and then the world. We're taking over the world, one subscriber at a time. So join our campaign, hit that subscribe button. This channel is sponsored through donations through Patreon. Please check out our Patreon page. The link is in the description below. Until next time, keep on keeping on. I didn't really freak out, but I just couldn't stand being around people, but at the same time I wanted to be around people. Like, everyone was out in the garage, it was cold out in the garage, there's nowhere to sit because people have built these, like, they're slobs, alright? My roommates are slobs, and I'm a neat freak, and so it annoys the piss out of me, right? The garage is the only area of the house I'm not allowed to touch. My roommate's very adamant about that. It's his garage, it's his area. I can clean the rest of the house all I want, but I can't touch the garage. Everyone's hanging out in the garage. It's a filthy goddamn mess. Alright? It's just a nasty mess. There's just crap everywhere. So if you want to sit out in the garage and socialize, there's only this little teeny tiny area where it's clear, and 9 times out of 10 all the chairs will have shit on them, and it's cold, there's no heat, and everybody's hanging out there, and I wanted to hang out with them, but damn it, I didn't want to hang out in a cold freaking garage where I can't even move and I'm going to trip over shit, and it was just very annoying. I have a perfectly large open basement that's heated. Perfectly large area for hanging out. It would be great. You don't trip over people, it's warm, plenty of room for chairs, it's not fucking cluttered. But no, we can't go hang out in the basement where it's warm and it's non-cluttered because we've got to hang out in the cluttered damn mess. And since they would refuse to come hang out with me in my area, that meant they were against me and they're evil and they should go to hell.